have been brought up with the idea that the anger comes from outside, we immediately jump to the conclusion, I am angry because someone did or said or did not, whatever it may be. But someone is responsible for my anger. That's our always the first thought. If we ask this question, what is the matter? You look very angry. You see that dumb dog? He did that. That's why I'm angry. You see this kitchen? How messed up is this? That makes me very angry. Not once the idea comes to the mind, how can a messed up kitchen be the cause of your anger? What is this kitchen doing to you? Where there are people who are superstitious, they'll get angry because the cat ran in front of them. Oh damn, now my whole day is ruined, this damn cat. Why it has to come in front of me? As if the cat is reading your mind and making sure that she must cross your path rather than anybody else's.
Yes, sir, two of us.
This is Robbie.
How are you?
You guys say the name.
Yes, sir.
Anger is one of the 5 major diseases that every human has. A child who has not yet learned to talk or walk knows the anger, shows the anger, expresses the anger. And we know it why the child is doing that. Cannot verbalize it, but he expresses it. So the fundamental question to ask is, what is the root of the anger? The 5 melodies that we always say, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar means, Kam means desires, Krodh means anger, Moha means attach, Lobh means greed, and Hankar means the ego. They are with us from day one, and they start showing themselves in different forms as we start observing the world around us. So it is extremely important that we first accept the fact that no one is making us angry. no one outside is a cause for our anger. I have normally shared this little parable with you before. And the parable is, for those who have not heard it, that a young man goes to his master and says, I am meditating the way you have taught me very regularly. But every day when I come out of my room after meditation, my wife always has some wise remark to make. And it makes me very angry, and the whole of the effort is lost. Could you please come to my home and talk to my wife that she should not make me angry? The master says, okay, let's go. He takes a rope and a bucket. And the young one says, what are you going to do with this? He says, I need some water from the well. That's why I'm taking the bucket and the rope. Sure enough, there is a well on the way. The master stops there, throws the bucket in the well. There's a lot of noise. He pulls the bucket out, looks inside the bucket, and the bucket is empty. He throws it again, same noise, same effect. After a couple of times doing this, he puts the rope on the ground and the bucket on the ground, and he takes off his shoe and starts beating the bucket and the rope. And he is shouting at the bucket and the rope, why didn't you bring the water? Why didn't you bring the water? And he's getting this done, and the young man is totally confused. Beating the rope and the bucket? What is the idea? But he's a master. He cannot be stopped. But he looks inside the well and observes that the well is completely dry. Now he cannot hold himself, and he says, Master, they could not bring the water. There is no water in the well. Why are you beating it? So you agree that if there is no water in the well, bucket cannot do anything. See, yeah, of course. See, then why are you beating your wife? Sir, what do you mean I'm beating my wife? You just said that if there is no water in the well, it does not matter how many times you throw the bucket inside, the water is not going to come out. So, beating the bucket is not going to help. Your wife might be a bucket or might be a rope. If there was no anger inside you, it will not come out. So when you start getting angry with your wife because she threw the bucket in, actually you are beating your wife for just throwing the bucket. She is not the cause of your anger. Your anger is inside So, dry the well. Work on your anger inside you instead of blaming your wife. So the first thing to understand is anger is not coming from outside. Anger is already there. If you just acknowledge that fact alone and take the responsibility, it's me. Anger is me. It is mine. I am responsible. Half the job is done. So long as we continue to say, you did that. Stop doing this so that I don't get angry. Responsibility is on the other. So long you keep on expecting the world to change for you, you're going to be sadly disappointed. So, once we understand that it is in us, now you can go further deeper into it and find out what are its roots. How does that energy start arising inside us? And you'll be surprised to notice that the anger has no existence of itself. It is a shadow. It is a reaction to something other within us. Now think about it. I said 5 melodies. Out of that 5, let's keep 2 on the side. What are those 2? Anger and attachment. Krodh and moha. They have no existence of their own. They are reactions to something. What are they reaction to? The other 3. What are the other 3 then? Ego, greed, and desires. When any one of these 3 are denied, when any one of these 3 are hurt, the response is anger. When any one of these 3 are satisfied, the response is attachment. In simple words, I come to you and ask you for a favor. And you accept that and do the favor with a smile. What would be my response to that? I'll start liking you, right? I'll start getting closer to you. The attachment will develop. A memory will be formed. Why is the memory formed? Because one of the 3 or all 3, my ego, my desire, and my greed, all 3 or any one of these 3 got satisfied. When that satisfaction took place, it invited the reaction of attachment. I would want to see you again, meet you again because you are a good person, because my ego is getting stroked when I meet you. Let's reverse. I come to you for the desire to be fulfilled. You say absolutely not. And don't you ever dare ask me again. Now what would be the response? Anger. I will start disliking you. As Dr. Dhani was saying, that is where the rest of the reactions start then. And it can go to any length. It can become not only anger, but it can create the desire to avenge. I'll teach you. How dare you say no to me? I'm going to get it. Even with you somehow or the other. So now, the sub-contexts are also being added. The desire to badmouth, tell tales, make up stories. They all are coming from hurting the ego, denying the wish. So when you are angry, don't run around outside and don't yell or scream, and close your eyes and ask yourself a fundamental question. Which one of the three are hurt? Do I feel insulted? That means my ego is hurt. Am I short of cash? That means my greed is hurt. Or my desires are being overruled by somebody. I want to go to shopping. I ask my husband, I want to buy this, and he says, not this month. Is he responsible for your anger? No. The anger is sitting right there. He may be the bucket, and he may be the rope. He may be just the trigger. You are not going to worry about the trigger. You are not going to beat the bucket. You are not going to beat the rope. If you want to rise above it, you are going to close your eyes and say, my desire is being overruled by somebody and I am feeling hurt. Is hurt the logical reaction to his saying not this month? Can there be another reaction? Now the funny part is, the moment you ask that question, anger disappears. Why? Because it's a shadow. It has no existence. And it is a thief. It's going to take the energy and use to make you more excited. When we paint anger on a canvas, what color we use? Red. Isn't it? It's heat. It's going to make you hot. The heartbeat is going to literally increase. The palpitation is going to go up. But it can work only, how does a thief work? Can a thief continue working if somebody sees him? The definition of a thief is, it does its job when nobody's watching. even if he is doubtful that somebody might be watching me, thief will not take the risk. Anger is a thief. And it keeps on working until you ask the question of yourself. Because it is your anger. It is inside you. When you ask this simple question, which of the three? And once you get the answer, or it hurts my ego, or it's denying my desires, or my greed is not getting fulfilled, anger will disappear because you yourself will not feel good about. What do you mean? I am so egotistical? If anybody was to tell me now, if the husband says, no, isn't that ego you? Isn't there just childish desire? Don't you have enough clothes or jewelry or whatever? Why do you want to buy no more? Isn't it childlike activity? You feel very bad. No, I'm a grown up. I'm a mature person. Well, then behave like one. Isn't that what we tell our children when they say, don't call me a kid anymore. I'm a grown up. What do the parents say? Then behave like one. I am a free man. Okay. Go out, bring some money, pay your rent. Then I will call you a grown-up man. But if mommy is washing your clothes and cooking your food and you are watching TV all day, don't tell me you are a grown-up man. Anger is a childish response to something not getting done to your own wishes, to your own desires. And when you start questioning the validity of those desires inside you, anger disappears. There is a story in the life of Ramakrishna. He started meditating at the age of 14. And somebody asked him, what turned you onto this path? And he says, I was brought up in an ordinary environment where the family always is arguing about something or the other, and it used to bother me a lot. Why can't they be at peace? They are blood relations. And he says, one day I was walking on the beach, and on a barren tree, there were a lot of vultures sitting very quietly. Then one of the vultures suddenly saw a piece of meat on the ground. The one who saw the meat, she flew to get the meat. Now the others also noticed, where is she going? They also saw the meat and everybody followed. But since she had a head start, she picked the meat in her beak, went back to the same tree, sat down, took the meat out of, put it in her feet and started to eat. In the meantime, the rest of the vultures also came back and they started picking his body with their beak. They are literally hitting him. They hit that vulture so hard that that she started bleeding, and I am standing downstairs and thinking, this looks like my family. They were sitting quietly like as friends. What happened? While I am asking that question, how could then those who are sitting like friends with each other for so long suddenly become enemy and start hurting the other? While I am thinking about it, she has bled so much that the piece of meat fell from, she was holding under the feet, it fell down. Now, as soon as the meat fell down, all others who are picking on, they left her alone and went after the meat. And he said, that's when I found my answer of life. I realized that they are not enemies of each other, they are still friends. The real enemy is that piece of meat. And every time something will hurt me, I started asking the question, which piece of meat I am holding that the others want? All I need to do is let that meat go, and others will leave me alone. When you get angry, ask yourself, what are you holding on to? And the answer would be, either you are holding on to your ego, or you are holding on to your greed, or you are holding on to your desires, or all three. If it is hurting you and you don't want the hurt and you want to be at peace, open the hand and drop the piece of meat that you are holding. It is guaranteed you are holding on to something. If the argument continues and you are unhappy with the argument, don't tell the other, stop arguing with me. No. You ask yourself, why is the argument continuing? Aha, I am holding on to my ego, because if argument goes away, I am going to feel as if I lost. And I don't want to lose. You are now holding on in your hand, in your fist, that piece of ego which says, I am going to win, and you are going to lose. And both keep on saying that. Both keep on saying that. Anger is a thief. Now, and the thief is inside you. If you do not want the thief to continue doing its mischievous thing, what you need to do? How do you stop a thief from stealing? You let him know that you are watching. Isn't it? Thief will immediately stop. So what you do? Look at your anger. Face it. If you are a meditator, I can guarantee you, you can take your anger and put him on the table and sit here and watch. The anger will become visible to you. If you are a good meditator, you can separate your observer from your emotional energy and say, come face me. And you'll be surprised. He will refuse to face you. He'll say, bye-bye, I'm going. Because he's a thief. And you have noticed, you have called it a bluff. Say, now try stealing while I'm watching. Try making me angry now because I'm watching. I am observing. Anytime the anger energy is inside you and you are an observer, you can literally say, aha, the thief is waking up. Let it come to my throat. Then I will tell. And as soon as I say the thief is waking, it will go back. It will never get to your throat. Your mouth will never open in response to anything. Now the mother is sitting here and say, well, this guy is gone bonkers. Children do these things, should we not get angry with them? Mothers, any idea?
I think since we raised them, we shouldn't be upset because we made them that way.
See, disciplining is not the work of anger. Anger creates fear in the other, not discipline, not understanding. What would the child do when he knows my mother is going to get angry if she finds out? What do the children do?
Not do that.
They do outside when you're not watching.
Hide it.
We don't tell you.
Right? Then they will make pact with you. Don't tell her. And you cover me up, I'll cover you up someday. What has happened? The fear has taken hold. The anger hasn't done anything good. Why? What kind of reaction the anger would create in the other? Fear. And when the other is afraid, is this person listening? Is he absorbed with anything? Is he learning? Because if the child is learning, he or she will actually ask for clarification. Would you say that again, Mom? When you said this, I did that, and you said this is not the right thing to do. Please explain. Now the child is learning. Now the child will remember. No fear. But the anger will not allow him or her to ask any question. Only the thing the child wants at that time is, how do I get out of it? When will she become quiet? So that can I go now, Mom? You call that child back and say, did you hear what I told you? Yeah, you said don't do that again. Okay, fine. No. Why you should not do that again? Can you explain that to me? You know I am not that good in explaining. That's a false excuse. Reality, he hasn't heard. Why he hasn't heard? Because you were angry. When the children do something which you do not want them to ever repeat, even when you are not there, don't show your anger. Show your love. Show your compassion. Bring them close to your heart. Sit down with them and say, I need to talk to you. Have a conversation. And make sure that before you let them go, they repeat it back to you. Now say that again. Explain to me. Have you heard? Have you understood? Does it feel right to you, what I just said? But Mom, the others do it. which is the normal response. Why can't I have the iPhone? Everybody in the school has it. And you want to sit down. And you want to chat with them. I am responsible for you. I want to raise you the way I like. Others are raising their children the way they like. So I'm not going to compare you with others. But if your response is always angry, no. Why not? Because I said so. Where is the teaching? So what would they do then? They will go to their friends who have that toy and play it there. Whatever that toy is. Anger does not discipline anybody. Anger creates fear response in everyone, regardless of the age. Then anger gives rise to all kind of deviations in violent behavior. All violence comes out of that. Denial. If there are things denied without the proper explanation, the end result would be violence. You can look around at the global level or at the individual micro level. You can look at an individual, you can look at a class of people, for argument's sake. 1.5 billion people are having a fight at their hands because they are denying certain fundamental rights to the women. Denial will slowly create anger, resulting in violence. The only way is proper dialogue, proper conversation. Any conversation in anger. Anger has a very, very powerful quality. It shuts down your logical thinking. Anger will bring up the emotional energy, and the emotions are never logical. The part of the brain which does the logic, which adds 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, the logical part, anger will shut it down permanently. As long as you are in the grip of the anger energy, the logical energy disappears. And everybody who's interacting with you will also start getting frustrated because the logical thing is not getting through. Emotional is repeating itself again and again and again. A person in love, a girl in love, will only keep on saying, but I love him. And mother and father will keep on saying, but does he have a car? Does he have a job? Or his bills paid up? Is he in credit card debt? Have you found anything? How are you going to live? How are you going to eat? But Mom, I love. Why? Because that's emotional energy. It's not logical. It's coming from the heart. The brain shuts down. That's the quality of an anger. You cannot have a logical argument, conversation, discussion with a person who's under the control of anger.
What do you do?
Just as I am having a conversation with you. Help the other to look at the anger inside himself or herself. Acknowledge the anger. I know you're angry. I accept that. Would you please repeat to yourself, you are angry? Of course when I am angry, look at your behavior. You are causing this. You are the cause of this anger. Understood? Now, close your eyes. See where that anger is. Can you find it? It's a beautiful story. Somebody went to a master and said, what should I do with my mind? It's running around all the time. It doesn't quiet down. And he said, yeah, when I was your age, I also had that problem. So what did you do? He said, I took my mind to my master because he said, bring your mind to me and show it to me and I will quiet him down. Bring your mind to me, show to me where it is. I will talk to your mind. You forget, you just be quiet, just bring your mind. And say, you're making fun of me now. Say, no, I'm not making fun of you. I'm trying to tell you something. That which is your mind, where is it? I want you to ask that question of yourself. Find that mind. And the funny thing is, as you start finding your mind and you go on that search, mind disappears. It shuts down. It hides somewhere. Why? Because that is also a naughty boy, a thief. It's playing only because you are not watching. You watch your mind, it will disappear. It will quiet down. It doesn't want to show itself to you. The same way, a meditator, the best meditation for a beginner is find your eye. Find your eye. When you say, this is my view, and I say, I accept. Please introduce your this mind. My view. I accept. First introduce me to this, what you call my, me, I. What do you mean by when you say, I said so? What will you do? You say, okay, I don't know. I cannot explain. I'll go find out. Okay. Now you are looking for your I. What else is the meditation? You are bending this way, that way, this way, that way. Is that meditation? No. That's physical exercise. Any negative energy that comes up from within you, first acknowledge it. It is yours. Get out of the habit of blaming everybody else. Oh, I am like this because my mom used to do this. I picked up that habit. Oh, so now your mom is responsible for your bad behavior? No. You are what you are, who you are, is a collection of memories that you picked along the journey. And you kept those things with you. That's what defines you. So if you want to work on the anger, look for that anger inside you. And I guarantee you, the moment you take the first step to look at the anger, it's gone. You are at peace. You remain angry so long as the blame is on the other. You will remain angry. You cannot solve that problem. The world cannot change for you. You have to change yourself. And how do you change yourself? Start looking inside you. Oh, I'm too busy. I'm running around 8-10 hours on the job, then I have to come home, I have to cook and I have to clean, and then I'm so tired I can't even fall asleep. Then I take one pill to go to sleep, then I cannot get up in the morning, I take one pill to get up. That's not going to change. Change requires quiet, silent look inside. But I close my eyes, I see nothing, only dark. Of course. How many times did you look? Few times it is going to feel dark. It is going to look dark. If I tell you to get out of the house, what would you do? You'll get off from here, walk up to there, then walk, and then go at the end of the door. Now you say, look, I am trying to get out of the house, but I'm still in the room. Of course, the first few steps are going to be inside the house. Don't look for excuses not to go outside. You will be able to go outside. Start walking. The inside will become visible to you if you keep looking. Make it a practice. But I just told you my life is too busy. Okay. Come back to me when you are not that busy then. Because that's not going to happen. For the first 30 years of my life, I had all these excuses. And then one day somebody said only this thing to me. Don't worry about where you're going, how far you have walked, what you have done. Just start walking. But why should I walk? No reason, just walk. Where am I going? Nowhere, just walk. But I don't have the time. It's okay. Walk inside the room. For the last 40 years, I'm still walking. So with that, I want to thank you all for coming. And we are going to now open up for general discussion, question, answers, whatever anybody wants.